All right, I'm going to show you how to map this 3D model to this resistor. Okay, all you have to do is make sure your resistor is open in this DRA file in OrCAD PCB editor. Now let's open the 3D model view. This is what it looks like. This is wider on the printed circuit board because there's actually some text, a reference designator, but we're going to place a 3D model on here. So what you want to do is go to your 3D mapper if you are using OrCAD version 17.4 post the January 2021 version, and then you would select your model file. So let's go find our model file by clicking on the ellipsis there, and I'm going to pull it out of my downloads folder. I found the resistor. Okay, this is the 1206 resistor, so I'm going to click on it and click open. Now I have the option to map this resistor. See, it gets placed in a space. You can use the middle mouse button to move this around. This is what it looks like here. Okay, so if I hit auto, it auto places it onto the printed circuit board, which is fantastic. That's great. And then you can use the other options here to move it around and manipulate it, but this is good. You can export this map file to make sure that it works. So we'll go with RES1206, and it's a .map file. In fact, let's save it in the same folder as the footprint. So go into the Cadence directory with the default footprints. RES1206, so I'm going to memorize that. Now I'm going to close this 3D mapped model, save this footprint. Then I will look at the 3D model again just to make sure. All right, it is mapped. Now what I'll do is I will use this SMR1206 in a project. Let's go ahead and do a file new. Sure, I'll save it. And then we'll go with a board. The drawing name will just be, example RES1206. Hit enter. And then for the origin, I'll place it in the center. Everything, I'll just keep the same. Now I can place components manually, activate my library of default package symbols. Then I'm going to look for RES12. Actually, it's SMR1206. Hit tab, and I'll click to place it and click close. Now typically when you place a footprint on the printed circuit board or any printed circuit board design, for instance, let's go to place components manually and place something like SMC 1206. And then you look at the 3D model. Even if you map a 3D model onto the device using the PCB editor mapping, if you move the part somewhere else, or if you move the footprint, or sometimes if you move your project around, the mapping will not stay with the footprint. The 3D model mapping will not stay with the footprint. But in this case, it does. And then how do we make sure that happens? To make sure that happens, we would go into our setup, user preferences, and in the paths, you want to make sure that your step mapping path includes some folder or directory. If we were to expand this, it includes some folder or directory local to our design, so that's where the dot is, or in a subfolder called step. See, our design is in this folder. It's in the same folder as the package symbol that has the step model associated with it. Or if we look at a folder that's above this project folder, that's called step. If it has that mapping file in there, that it'll check. And finally, we have this default folder here. So if you put your map file that we exported from the 3D mapping into any of these folders, then it will pick it up, detect it, and automatically map it to the footprint. Okay, So that is how we make sure that the 3D model mapping sticks with the device. Thanks for watching.